No sales with your KDP Low Content Books. Hi, Kerry here from Dream Creativity and welcome to my channel where we show you how to make money online with KDP Low Content Books, and it's with new training every week. So be sure to hit the big red subscribe button down below. So today I'm actually doing a video about no sales and why sales seem to have slowed down for some people. And the reason why I'm doing it is because I keep seeing it in the different Facebook groups, and I keep seeing it for the same reason. And when they show their books, you see why they are getting no sales. The first thing you need to do is actually know your audience. There are so many niche ideas and book ideas, but within our niche, we need to actually know our audience and understand our audience. When businesses start or when they first create a product, they actually do a deep dive on their audience, and their audience is usually one person who they give that person a name, a sex, a age, whether they've got children, whether they're married, whether divorced, what their income levels is, what their education level is, what their hobbies are, what their likes and dislikes are. Now, we don't need to go in such a deep dive, but we do actually need to know who the audience is of that niche that we're going into. We need to know what they want, their needs and wants, and whether we are going to solve a problem that they may have. So if you are creating, say, a colouring book and you're aiming it at, say, a senior audience that may have dementia or Alzheimer's, or they may now start to struggle to colour in because of mobility issues, you want something that's simple and easy for them, but you might create something that's more intricate. So your audience is wanting one thing and you've created this, and there's a mismatch, and you're not going to meet what they want and you're not going to sell it. But your title and your subtitle and your descriptions aiming here and you're down here. So you need to actually know what you're wanting. Same with if you create blog books and you say it's a financial planner, and then you put something in that does about outings and things like that. It's again a mishmash. So look at what the audience wants, whether it's a problem or whether it's something that they want to be entertained. Now, when I first started back in 2018, I created a planner that was truly aimed at the audience, and the audience was me. I knew exactly what I wanted in that planner, and I knew what other people in that audience wanted because I knew them. I knew the niche inside out because it was for my own audience, where I worked, where I did things like that. So that's why that took off and sold really well. And then when I went into other niches, I actually looked at the audience and what they wanted what they wanted in a book and what wasn't there and was missing. So that's what you need to do. Now, the next thing that you need to look at, and this is the biggest thing for me, it's the thing that annoys me, it's the thing that annoys other people, and it's not just in KDP, it's also in Printables, it's also in templates, it's also when people are creating bundles to go into templates. And the big issue is quality. Now, we see this all across KDP. We see a lot of spam books that are just uploaded, no thought is given, images are just slapped onto the cover, inappropriate colours, and the number one issue is spelling. Spelling is often incorrect and has not been checked, and the products have been rushed through because people have believed that this was a get-rich-quick scheme. Now, you can make a lot of money in both KDP and Printables and templates, but you still have to make sure that everything is of a quality that can be sold. You want it to be professional. You want it to represent you. So you need to do your due diligence. Now, what you can do is emulate other people when you are learning. And I say when you are learning, you don't want to publish those books, you want to learn those skills. Now, when an artist starts becoming an artist, they often copy other artists. They'll sit down, say, if they're into cartoons and comics, they may draw all the Marvel characters, and they'll copy and learn about the colouring shades, and then they start learning how to build their own characters for it. But they never claim that that work is themselves, and they never sell it if they're doing the correct thing. And this is the same with you. You need to make sure that you are learning how to do these things and go and correct any mistakes. So an example with spelling mistakes, if you're doing titles and subtitles and all that, type them out in Word or type them out in a program that does spell checking for you, and proofread it and get people around you to proofread it, because a word may be spelt correctly but it might be the wrong word in that context, but you are reading it as the correct word. So if somebody else will have a look at it for you, they may pick it up straight away and say that's the wrong word in the wrong sentence. So do that. Now there's another issue as well. In your title, you may say that it's a colouring book, and it may be on your book cover that it says a colouring book, but then when you look at the description or you look at the interior, it's an activity book. They are not the same. Colouring books and activity books are two different things. Now, a colouring book is made up of pages of images where you can colour them, whereas an activity book may have some colouring pages, they may not, but they're also made up of different activities like puzzles, drawing, search it, find it, maze, Sudoku, word searches, crosswords. They have all sorts of different things in them. Also, another thing that I've noticed is people have said about planners that they have looked for a dated daily planner, but yet in the interior it's undated and it's not daily and it's weekly. So you need to say exactly what your book is, and if you are saying it is a dated daily planner, then make sure that your interior is a dated daily planner. Now, the thing to ask yourself before you upload your book, before you start selling your templates, or before you start selling your images or anything, is the simple question is, would you buy it yourself? Would you buy it to give as a gift to either your family or to your friends? If the simple answer is no, then why are you trying to sell it to somebody else? You need to get that quality so that you personally would buy it. Now, if it's in a niche that you wouldn't buy, you still need to make sure that, yes, I might buy this for my grandma, or I might buy this for my best friend that's got a weird sense of humour and it suits them, but it still needs to be of good quality. So look at it that way. Then another thing that you need to look at is keywords. Now, keywords are important, and we all would love to find the holy grail of a low competition and high demand, but that rarely happens. Yes, it can happen, but rarely. Now, you can still compete in highly competitive niches if first you've done the audience and mainly the quality, then your product can compete, because people may have bought those other books beforehand and are looking for new books. So firstly, don't keyword stuff your titles either. Titles need to be easily read. Your audience are people and not a computer and not an algorithm. Yes, you need to make sure you get your keywords in, but you still need to make it so that humans can read it. So your keyword should be your main thing. So if it's a Christmas colouring book, put Christmas colouring book, and then use the subtitle to tell us what that Christmas colouring book is. Is it a simple colouring book? Is it a large print colouring book? Is it aimed at seniors? Is it aimed at children aged 4 to 8? And also make sure that when you're aiming your book at a certain age group, that it's that right age group, that it's not, say, a toddler's colouring book and you're telling us it's for an 8-year-old, who would be highly insulted that you're giving them a toddler's book. Next thing, make sure that you don't repeat any keywords either. So if you've got a Christmas colouring book in your title, don't put it in your subtitle, because you've already got both Christmas book and colouring in there. So don't put it in your subtitle. You can put it in your description. Also, make sure you use your back-end keywords. Don't put trademarks or copyright terms in any of those in your title, subtitle, or in your back end. I would suggest, if you're doing any back-end keywords, well, you should be doing back-end keywords, I would suggest that first you discuss your niche in there, discuss your target audience, and actually discuss what your book is about. So the next thing to look at is the process. Now, making books is hard, and no, it is not a get-rich-quick scheme, because you need to learn all these different skills. It's not just about research, it's not just about the keywords, it's actually also about creating the book, unless you outsource this process. Now, you need to understand about these different sizes that you can publish on KDP. There's different ones for paperback and different ones for hardcover. You also need to know about bleed and no bleed and margins, and you need to know about how the books turn from right to left and that they've got an inner margin. So you need to practice actually creating books. I have a lot of books that I have practiced creating before I've actually uploaded them. But you don't need to necessarily publish them until you are absolutely happy with them. But also remember this, the Pareto rule comes into play here. Now, what the Pareto rule is that 20% of your products will make 80% of your income. So we can actually reverse that and say 100 of your books, only 20 of them will sell. And some people say it's a lot lower than that, it's about 10. So some people say the Pareto rule is actually 90-10 rather than 80-20. Also, find a software that suits you. I personally love PowerPoint, especially for creating logbooks and planners. I also like using Canva as well for different things. Keynote is brilliant as well for creating things like that. So is Affinity Designer and Publisher and InDesign. Find one that actually suits you. When I first started, I actually used Photoshop for all of my covers, but now virtually everything is done in PowerPoint unless it's a colouring book or anything like that. Then I'll use Affinity Designer with Affinity Publisher. My background is also in IT and using different software and teaching people how to use different software. So I actually like to play around with all different software. But if you find one that suits you, stick with it, even if it's not the right one for the job, but it actually gets the job done, then stick with that and get things done. Now, number 5 is about, are you using the A+ content? Now, this came in recently this year. It is great to actually show interiors without relying on the look inside feature. And if you're building a brand, you can actually link to your other books. You get up to 5 modules to add to your book sales page. And here I'm showing you 2 different examples. One is from Posh adult colouring books, so they've got like a headline and then they're showing you what the cover looks like. Look how professional that is coloured in, telling you exactly what it is, what you get, bullet points, and then it's showing you inside and being coloured. And then the other one is from Colour Book Cafe, and you can see their covers, you can see their background, and look at their colours. Their colours have got lights and shadows, and it shows you different how the colours are blending, and then it shows you in situ, and then it shows you some interior pages, and then it shows you a couple of their best-selling books. They don't actually link on there, which they could do, so they're missing out on a trick there. So start using it. It is a free promotion tool that you can actually be getting ahead of your competition. If you've got books that are already selling, go back and create it, but definitely create it for your ones going forward. So you can't just rely, well, you can just rely on organic sales. If you've done like all the other steps, you've made sure that you've targeted your audience correctly, that you've got great quality, your keywords all right. But using promotion certainly helps. So you can invest money in Amazon ads. Now, if you are pricing your books really low, you are not giving yourself enough money to actually go and take part with Amazon ads. Also, often people don't buy the cheapest book. The cheapest book people see as not being of good quality. So make sure you price your book either the same as your competition or slightly higher. Also use social media and like Pinterest, Instagram, or Facebook groups, although Facebook's changed its name. Or is it just the Facebook business that's changed its name? But some Facebook groups will allow you to promote on certain days. You can promote your books, or you can give out certain pages for people to colour in. So that's certainly something to have a look at. Then number 7, treat this like a business. Treat it like a business from the word go. It is not a get rich quick scheme. As you can see, there are lots of things for you to learn. You need to learn everything. You need to learn how to do the research, how to find the niches, how to actually create the books, where to go and find all your images or your fonts, or understand about trademark and copyright. And once you've got that, you're still learning, because you may want to learn other skills. You may also want to just be the publisher and not have to create any of this. You might want to go and outsource it all, and you can do that. There's a lot of people that have created successful businesses by just having, say, a group of artists that create them different colouring books in different niches, and your job is usually to do the research, say what you want, and then put it all together and publish it. And there's a lot of people that's done that both with low content and high content and made quite a good living. There's so many good courses out there to help you as well. There's also fantastic YouTube channels out there for you to go and learn from. And if you're wanting to expand your skills, there's other places like Skillshare and Domestika and places like that will actually help you. Now, will KDP low content still be around? And the simple answer is yes. This market is going to be around for a long time because it was around before Amazon came around. There were lots of planners, notebooks, logbooks, and colouring books. And colouring books really took off with Amazon back in about 2014 and 2015. But before that, there'd been colouring books for adults. But what could happen? Anything as far as KDP is concerned or Amazon can happen. So they may ask us to pay for our ISBNs like certain platforms do. They may ask us to pay a formatting charge like a pay to play, so like 20 cents like Etsy does for any listing. Ingram Sparks, I think, charge about $50 unless you can get a certain coupon or a voucher. They may even start doing it where you need to actually apply to get in. Who knows? This is Amazon's business. We have no control over it. So if we're all following the rules of keeping it so that it's good quality and we're not spamming the heck out of things, because some people say, oh, it's all right, you just apply for another ISBN. ISBN is actually a legal document. So if you can do things right in the first place, you're actually keeping on the right side of Amazon. So that is 7 or 8 of the reasons why, should I say 7 of the reasons why you might not actually be making any sales. So if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you haven't already, subscribe to the little bit above my head. And also while you're here, why not check out some of my keyword videos.